Greetings. On this game, most people know me as Ninja, and in this video, I'll go over the various NPCs that hands out client orders. In case you didn't know, client orders are essentially missions that NPCs ask, and if you accept them, they ask you to do a task. Whenever you complete them and turn them in, they'll hand you a reward. Most of the time, it's just EXP and Meseta. They are worth doing, however, because it makes you progress through the game easier, and sometimes they even unlock new content. Keep in mind that at the current moment I'm going to use the JP version to explain all this, so in the case that the North American version might have some severe differences, I might make a new video explaining those. Here we'll start here on the first floor, the gate area on the right hand side of the lobby. This right here is an NPC named Coffee. Her client orders are very important because they help you unlock new stuff for your character, such as the ability to unlock a subclass, your mag, new weapon palettes, and so on and so forth. Anytime you have a new mission from her, you definitely want to do them as soon as you can. Right next to her is an NPC named Pudding. She is an important NPC, but not so much for client orders. However, some of her client orders will explain some of the mechanics in the game that you might not know about, and give you a tutorial when you do them. So it's worth doing if you need some clarity on what those are. Over here is an NPC named Revell. Her client orders, whenever you pick them up, ask you to kill a bunch of mobs specifically, and usually these mobs, at least for her, is related to the Dorkers or Foul Spawn. Every time you clear the acquired amount of mobs and turn them in, you get a good amount of experience extra for doing them. So they're worth doing if you're gonna go after these mobs and need some experience points. So here on our left hand side of the lobby, we have this NPC Appin. You'll meet Appin in the beginning moments of the game, especially in the tutorial. His client orders all revolve around teaching new players the basic mechanics of the game that you should know about. Everyone should do them because not only they teach you how to do certain stuff that you should know about, they also give you a good amount of experience for doing so. Over here is the daily order admin. She is a special type of client orders because she hands you a bunch of client orders that refreshes every day, and when you do them, they give you a good amount of EXP and Meseta for doing so. She also has a special type of client orders over here which has a little arrow next to them. These gives you more to your daily boost over here. Essentially, anytime you complete one of these, they add 5 to your daily boost up to 10, which gives you a maximum of 50% of your daily boost. What a daily boost is that when you have it, it gives you an increase in EXP, Meseta, and as well as a spell drop. So they're worth doing because they stack with every other booster in the game. Over here on the far left side, we have Hands. This client orders ask you to kill a bunch of mobs from all different areas, not just one specific one like Revell. When you do them, he gives you a bunch of EXP for doing so. So if you're going to be out and about in an area and killing a bunch of mobs, his client orders are definitely worth doing for just a bit more EXP. Here in the center part of the lobby are a bunch of NPCs that relates to all the classes in PSO2. And they're very important to do because sometimes they give you some stuff like extra skill points to put in this skill tree. Starting from the left side here, we have these two NPCs, Saga and Katori. They relate to the Bouncer class. Over here is Kyoka. He relates to the Phantom class. Over here is Stratos. She relates to the Hero class. Right next door is Azami. She relates to the Braver class. Over here is Malu. She relates to the Force and Tekka classes. This one is Oza. He relates to the Hunter and Fighter classes. And this one is Loset. She relates to the Itoyo class. This one is Pietro. He relates to the Summoner class. And finally over here, this is Lisa. She relates to the Ranger and Gunner class. So up here on the upper floors of the gate area, we have Clarice Clace. She handles specific client orders to give you a specific type of tech. You won't be able to do it until later on into the story / levels, but she will be important later on for forces, specifically. This one is Barber and Joseph. They handle specific challenges for the specific classes in the game, and they give you a good amount of EXP and Meseta for doing them. So you should definitely do them for just that better EXP in general. And right here on the left hand side is Claude. He gives out missions for specific content in the game, which is usually time attacks and extreme quests and so on and so forth. He gives you a bunch of other stuff as well for doing them if you pick up his client orders, so they're worth doing if you just need a little bit of extra for doing them. These 3 teleports in the lobby will take you to the shopping plaza. In the middle of the shopping plaza, sometimes they might have some decorative items in the middle, so it signifies sometimes there might be a seasonal event going on. If that's the case, there might be an NPC right here in the middle, which is a seasonal NPC. These seasonal NPCs hand out special client orders. The reason they're special is because sometimes they give you some exclusive content like the partner cards that you can't get any other time, or sometimes even some extra items. So whenever you see them, it might be worth doing. This one over here is Zeke. His client orders all relate to the crafting system of the game and give you some extra stuff relating to crafting items, so they're worth doing if you're going to go into those. Behind them is this NPC named Cressida. Her client orders all relate to more of the higher difficulty of the game, which is hard mode, very hard, super hard, and so on and so forth. They give you much more EXP than most other client orders, so they're worth doing if you're going to be doing hard mode or above. This one over here is Franca. Most of her client orders also relate to the higher difficulties and above, and her client orders are special because all of them gives you the request to obtain a drop from an enemy specifically, such as killing a bunch of udons to get a special item known as udon meat. When you do get enough of these and turn it into her, she gives you a good amount of EXP for doing so. Another interesting to note is that you can actually sell and buy these items on the player market too, so just keep that in mind. Over here, these 3 NPCs will start here with Jean. Like Afin, Jean actually explains some mechanics in the game, which is mostly just a social aspect, but for doing them, they give you a bunch of EXP and even some items to teach you how to do them, so he's really good to talk to and do them. Over here is Lottie and Devote. Most of the NPCs are relating to the very hard difficulty and above, and usually they give you a specific request to kill an enemy in a specific way or find a specific type of enemy to kill. For Lottie, she asks you to kill a boosted enemies, which is usually just enemies that are infected by the foul spawn. Devote will ask you to kill an enemy on the weak spot, or sometimes even destroy enemy ports. If you're going to be doing some specific content, they might be picking up because they give you a good amount of EXP for doing so. Over on this side, we have this NPC named Claude. All of his client orders relate to finding rare variants or even rare species of monsters that you can find about in the field. Depending on the monster, you can find them anywhere on any difficulty or usually ask to be on very hard or above. Whenever you find these monsters and kill them when his client orders are accepted, he'll give you a good amount of EXP and a bunch of grinders too. So if you're going to be searching up for specific monsters that are rare variants of them, it might be worth picking up his client orders to do them. These last 2 NPCs over here is Io. For her client order, she helps you with the just attacks of the game, or perfect attacks in the North American version. She asks you to kill certain mobs and with the just attacks only. So she helps because they give you a good amount of experience and they basically force you to learn the just attacks or perfect attacks of the game, which is very important to do so. Over here is Merlin. His client orders ask you to actually go out in the free field or any field that has these weather effects that happen sometimes, which are just real occurrences that just changes the weather. Sometimes you might need to go to the forest and survey the thunderstorm. Maybe you need to go to the tundra and witness a diamond dust effect. They give a good amount of experience, and anytime you do them, you actually get a free room furniture that relates to that area that he asks you to go to. So if you're interested in room items, he gives you some freebies for that. There's actually some other client orders you can pick up in different areas, and we're going to go over them now. So we're going to go to the casino area first. In this area, there's only one NPC that gives out client orders, but it's this guy over here named Alto. They give a good amount of experience, but mostly they just teach you the basic mechanics or even challenge you to get a reward from the various casino games in here. If you're going to be spending some time in the casino, they're actually just worth doing because, well, they just give you free stuff for the casino so you can play more in the casino, and hey, they give you a good amount of EXP as well. Finally, we're going over to the cafe area. You can access this in various teleporters or entrances, or you can just open the quick menu and press access cafe from it, which is right over here. There are 3 NPCs to talk about, which is here. You can find Frankie in here too, and you can just turn out client orders over here as usual too. But right next to her is Sophia. She teaches you about the gathering system as well as making the rings, which is like another set of gear you can get for your character to progress them. So you should definitely talk to her and learn more about the gathering system and the ring making system. We have Yux over here. Here's the client orders actually to find a specific item that you can get specifically from mining stuff. Sometimes you've been fishing, but mostly it's just mining stuff as far as I'm aware. Whenever you find these items, pick up his client orders and turn it into him. When you do, you get a good chunk of my setup for doing it. So they're worth doing whenever you can. And of course, both in the casino and the Franca's cafe, you can access the daily order client orders. Each client order has specific mechanics tied to them. Most client orders, you can actually repeat them as much as you can. Sometimes they may have a cooldown of 1 day, most of the time they'll have a cooldown of a week when completion. And of course some client orders you can only complete once, and once you do, you can't pick them up anymore. And finally, one final thing, anytime you accept a quest, if you accept it from a daily quest over here, it will actually bring up this special menu. All of these are client orders you can pick up from various NPCs and do them as you go into the free field. Not only that, but if that doesn't show up because you're not doing a daily quest, you can actually access that menu from over here in client orders on the menu. You press this option over here, and it also shows you all the client orders you can pick up. Keep in mind that all the client orders that shows up is only mostly relevant to the area you're fighting it. So for example, in this area, we can find all the Dragonkin enemies and stuff, but we won't see any client orders from other NPCs like Claude, Merlin, so on and so forth. So you still might want to go out around the lobby and pick up client orders that you know you get from an area that you'll be spending some time on. So that's pretty much the basics that you should know about for the important client orders in the game. Obviously there's some more client orders, such as getting some specific NPCs, one for completing more of the story and some other examples, but you don't need to worry about that for now. You'll experience it later on in the game when you finally get to play it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and take a look out for this channel as I might post some more guides later on. Anyways, that'll be all. Thank you.